Hey guys, what is going on? Chris here with Shughead Gaming, bringing you my review for Vacation Simulator, developed by Alchemy Games. And while this is currently available on various VR platforms, this review will of course be on the PSVR version and reviewed on a PS4 Pro. Vacation Simulator released June 18th, 2019 on the PSVR for an estimated price of $30. Of course, that depends on your region. Welcome to the Vacation Simulator, a rough approximation of vacation, inspired by real humans not jobbing. Reallocate your bandwidth and get ready to splash, s'more, snowball, and selfie your way to optimal relaxation. Brought to you by the same robots behind Job Simulator, does this groundbreaking VR franchise still have anything to offer the modern VR market? Let's find out. As always guys, if you like this video, please hit that like button, and if you'd like to see more PSVR content from me, please consider subscribing, and for video updates, hit that bell icon. And remember, if you want more PSVR news and info, check Shughead Gaming out on Twitter and Facebook. Let's kick things off with a look at graphics. If you have played either of Alchemy Games' previous titles, that of Job Simulator or the more adult Rick and Morty virtually rick-ality, then you already have a pretty good idea what to expect here going in. Things may be a little sharper and a little more polished overall, but for the most part, Vacation Simulator looks very much like you think it will. Bright and simple textures from the previous entries are in full effect, and while this cartoon aesthetic still retains much of the joyous fun, it's hard not to be slightly disappointed by more of the same. Job Simulator was a trendsetter to be sure in the early days of VR, with fully interactive VR worlds that instantly communicated to new VR players what could be possible when in VR. Unfortunately, despite a welcomed bump in location variety due to the change of day jobs to vacation destinations, the overall visual offering just feels safe and a little dated. The visual limitations are made all the more apparent in the move to outside locations, as the simple textures and small level design just really don't effectively sell the feeling of actually being in these given vacation spots. More of the same may be exactly what fans of the series want from this next entry in the series, so my complaints will fall on deaf ears to many, but for those less enthralled with the series, such as myself, don't expect any visual surprises when jumping in. Sound is up next.
Anyway, Karen Bot tried to scream, but all that came out was a dial-up tone.
Dial-up? What's that?
You know,
With a game like Vacation Simulator, I doubt many go in expecting to be blown away by its genius audio design. As with the graphics, the sound design here on Vacation Simulator is very much in line with what was on offer in Job Simulator. Sound effects are playful and cartoon-like while still reflecting the real-life nature of your actions and the objects you're playing with. Music here in Vacation Simulator, though, plays a slightly larger role than it did in Job Simulator, as it is often used to help create the proper ambiance to these location destinations, often sounding like it is playing just off in the distance out of a portable stereo. Headed to the tropical level, expect to hear Jamaican-style steel drums. When it comes to sound design, Vacation Simulator doubles down on what made Job Simulator special, with yet again bringing some excellent voice work to the table in the form of the happy-go-lucky and slightly condescending robot guides. As with Job Simulator, they are here again to explain your tasks to you through their slightly off interpretation of how humans actually lived. The end result is a helpful way to communicate vital gameplay tips, while also offering an often funny and almost Seinfeldian view of human habits. Here in Vacation Simulator, with its larger level design and increased task variety, you will come across many more bots than before, easily tripling your interactions with the robot inhabitants without being too repetitive. Easily one of the best aspects of the series, and as such, a welcomed addition here in the series' next entry. And that brings us to gameplay. Vacation Simulator takes what worked in Job Simulator, adds in the teleportation movement found in Rick and Morty, and then improves on both, easily bringing the most polished and in-depth game in the series. Since its launch on the PSVR over 2 years ago, Job Simulator has consistently been in the top 10 PSVR games sold, telling me a lot of you really enjoyed its simple pick-up and play mechanics. While never really doing much for me, I can appreciate its appeal to early VR gamers, as it was highly polished, humorous, and great at immediately putting people in a VR playground they can enjoy without being a gamer or used to VR. In short, it was a great demo title, and with its limited content and lack of progression, that's about all it was. Jump ahead a few years and, well, the general premise of the game hasn't changed that much. There's certainly a lot more meat on the bone here though, offering a much more complete experience this time around. When first jumping into the game, we are placed in the starting lodge of sorts. It is here where you will create your own custom avatar, learn the basics, and of course fool around in this virtual playground. It is also here that you are acclimated to the new gameplay additions of the inventory backpack, camera, and of course the ability to now teleport around levels, the latter of which is implemented much better for PSVR users than in the previous Rick and Morty game, ensuring that all tasks are forward-facing and avoiding frustrating tracking issues. Gone are the days of being stuck at a single workstation because we're on vacation. Leaving the lodge, we are greeted with the 3 super inventive vacation destinations of beach, forest, and mountain, of which can be played in any order and at your leisure. Jumping into a level sees the player in essence given a themed playground. Here we are introduced to the game's other new mechanic of memories. Each of the 3 vacation destinations are comprised of a handful of workstations and a final area that is locked out until you have earned enough memories in a given area. Memories are obtained by completing challenges at a given workstation, of which often have you doing similar tasks as the prior title, like cooking or making drinks, or the new and more creative tasks like ice sculpting, or the inventive camera tasks like taking the perfect selfie or making custom puzzle boards. Reach the required memory count for a level and you are given access to that level's prime experience, such as a deep sea dive or a forest hike. And that brings me to the one aspect of Vacation Simulator that may divide its attractors. On one hand, Vacation Simulator is brimming with content when compared to its predecessor, and definitely feels like a more complete game, worthy of the ticket price. However, along with the addition of more tasks, challenges, and progression, and the ability to move around levels, I also felt that the game sacrificed some of its pick-up-and-play charm of Job Simulator. Often I was given tasks or challenges that I just didn't care about, and requiring me to teleport around the level, managing my backpack inventory. This started to feel like make-work tasks, and I found myself quickly getting frustrated just trying to obtain the memory to advance. Don't get me wrong, fans of the series are likely to love the additional incentives to complete tasks, while aspects like the puzzle machine that makes a puzzle board out of your pictures or the playable 8-bit video cartridges hidden throughout truly do feel inspired. Regardless of what side of the fence you fall on, something that can't be debated is that Alchemy Games have mastered this style of VR game, with very few peers offering such polished and refined VR gameplay. World navigation and controller tracking was superb, with tracking rarely being an issue due to the thoughtful design of areas and the wise implementation of a pull mechanic when reaching out for faraway objects. Vacation Simulator is controlled with 2 move controllers and can be played seated or standing, with a moderate amount of room recommended as you'll be reaching out and around for items, in addition to the small amount of room scale that can be utilized when interacting with areas. Motion sickness will not be an issue, as the game has been careful to avoid this by mandatory teleportation and no turn option outside of moving your own body. And finally, that brings us to fun factor, my final review. When Job Simulator first released on PC VR and PSVR a little later, it was definitely a game for everyone and a great introduction to the joys of VR. Alchemy Games has taken their winning formula and doubled down on everything that people enjoyed in the first outing. Unfortunately though, VR has evolved in leaps and bounds since the introduction of Job Simulator, and as such, Vacation Simulator feels like a game not so much for everybody now, but more aimed at those new to VR or for those looking for a very casual VR experience. The overall experience here is expectedly polished and refined by a studio that has mastered this style of VR game. It's just not the trendsetter it once was, and despite the more robust content on offer, is likely to bore the more seasoned VR gamer very quickly. I hate numbered review scores, and as such rate games on the basis of buy, wait for a sale, or burn it to the ground. I think most of you watching this will quickly know if this is for you or not. Many of my VR peers often scratch their head in disbelief that Job Simulator was month after month a top PSVR seller, and yet it was, leading me to believe it still appeals to those new to VR or looking for an easy game to demo to friends and family. For those people, this is more of what you liked and likely a must buy. For the more seasoned PSVR gamers out there, I think you may find the slew of quality titles we are seeing weekly more to your liking. Anyways guys, that's it for me. If you liked this video, please hit that like button, and if you'd like to see more PSVR content from me, please consider subscribing, and for video updates, hit that bell icon. I'll catch you guys on the next video.